I now want to discuss private channels. So I've tweaked our tasks setup just a little bit. No longer are they created sort of in the global space, but they are instead assigned and associated with a project. So here we have the project with an ID of 1, maybe for me, from my family. And then we have another project with an ID of 2 that's maybe for the Miller family. So here's the issue, and we'll go over this structure in a moment. It's very, very simple Laravel 101 type stuff. But anyways, we have an issue. If we add a task, well, the way things are set up currently, even though we added it to the Way family, because we made a broadcast on that generic channel, well, every single list picked up on that. So the Way family added a task that was picked up and posted to the Miller families. Now, that doesn't mean it's being saved to the database. It's the JavaScript side. On the client, we're listening for that pusher message, and when it comes through, we add it. So if I give this a refresh, it will disappear, but it's confusing. A Miller family task? Clearly, this is a dangerous thing we do not want to allow. So we need a little bit more security. In general, we need to be a bit more thoughtful about how we do this. Let's head back to our editor. Now, if we go to that event that we broadcast, so task created, and if you scroll down, the channel, and once again, just think of it as an old TV channel. The channel that we're turning to, that we want to broadcast to, is called tasks. Then, if we go to our task list view component, every single project is opening up that channel. So we're turning the TV knob to that channel, and we're listening. So clearly, anytime you add a new task, every single list is going to pick up on that. That's obviously not what we want, right? So let's see if we can tweak this. What if to start, we're going to switch to a private channel in a minute. But yeah, to start, you might say, well, we'll be more specific. So we'll say tasks dot, and then maybe the task list ID. So I could say task list ID. And actually hold this thought. If you want a quick recap on what I've done, we now have a projects table that just contains the name. And then for our tasks table, every single task is assigned a project. Okay? And then in our routes file, if you try to visit a project, we will fetch or eager load all of the tasks for that project and load it. And then here's our API. So if you make a GET request to this endpoint, we'll fetch all the tasks for that project. And then, of course, if you make a POST request to add a new task to that project, we will delegate. Pretty simple Laravel 101 stuff. So I think we can continue on. Back in our event, we're now saying the channel is no longer tasks. It's going to be tasks dot, and then the ID of the project. And I'm sorry, I called it list ID. I meant project ID. So something like that. All right. Well, if we take that approach in our task list view component, we need to say here tasks dot, and then we'll fetch the list ID. This.project.id. Anyways, does this all make sense? We're now being a little more specific. Don't just turn to all tasks. We only care about the tasks for the project with an ID of 1. So now let's give both of these a refresh, and we'll add a Way family task. And if I tab away, you'll notice it does not get added to the Miller family. But let's create a new tab real quick just to make sure it is working for everyone within this list. So if I come back, you'll see this is here without needing to refresh. But once again, it's not going to be sent to the Miller family. So that's better. So the Miller family will get that, but once again, it doesn't get sent over back to the Way family now. So you might be thinking, this is the way to go. However, it's still not very secure, because think about it. Let's just open up our console here. What if they were to say window.echo on the channel called tasks.1? So they're just going to open up a channel, and we're going to listen for anything new within that project. So if we pick up on a task created event, well, we will accept the event and then log it to the console. So once again, the Miller family should not have access. They shouldn't be authorized to see any tasks that I create privately for the Way family. But right now, it sounds like they can just open up a channel and do that very thing. Let's give it a shot. Back on the Way family, arrange top secret meeting. And if they tab away, over on the Miller family, they picked up on that. So clearly, this is a problem, right? This is the issue that arises when you try to use a public channel for private data. Instead, if it should be private, then it should be a private channel that you broadcast on. So we'll tackle that in the very next episode.